Is Baizhu still worth using in 2023? What changes had appeared since his last known rerun? How does he fare in the game now? Is he still worth playing to this day? Is he still worth getting whenever he gets a rerun? What are his roles? Ever since his debut in 3.6 and how not a lot of people didn't intend to get him, with a select few that only have him, myself included, I wondered about this topic this time, specifically ever since now he's getting a rerun in 4.2 alongside the newest characters, Charlotte, and most importantly, Furina. So, I'm going to be your man to talk about what he's capable of and how you guys can prepare on if you guys are considering about going for him. I also want to say, before we get started today's video, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone showing your math, salute, support to the channel. Help me reach, let's see if we'll be able to reach, 800 subscribers real soon, and I appreciate every single one of you guys sticking around for these streams and videos. Anyway, let's get right to it. Baizhu, to me, is probably a very interesting character to explain about, because of how I would probably say, which might be a bit of a bold claim from me, that he might be a secret top-tier unit hidden within his, team capabilities, and a lot of people kind of overlook that because he's not like Nahida, or, basically just doesn't have better healing than Kokomi, for example. But personally, I could be speaking on my end, or maybe if other, Baizhu owners are going to support me on this, that he actually is very, very strong, even with his niche kit. Apparently, to me, I personally think having his niche capabilities of doing the things that other characters can do, but not in his in their actual peak that they can do, is surprisingly enough to me, or if you guys can agree, Baizhu's greatest strengths. I'll explain more on that once we get to his kit, his team capabilities, and comparisons. So let's get to that right now. For Baizhu, he's highly investable for HP. That's what makes his support capabilities, despite niche, very, very strong. So focus on HP, stacking as much HP as possible, while, having a good amount of energy recharge and elemental mastery, because he's Denjo, they need elemental mastery. For weapons, if you have his best in slot signature weapon for his support capabilities with his Jade Fall, good for you. Definitely would recommend equipping that. But if you don't, there are a good amount of free-to-play options like Hakushin Ring, which is the Inazuma Catalyst, or Prototype Amber as a Mondstadt 1. Those are really good weapons you can start off with when it comes to choosing between his HP capabilities or for elemental or Dendro reactions wise, definitely. Stack is also good for C1 if you don't have it, but yeah. For artifact set wise, you're definitely going to want to focus on stacking as much HP as possible to further, boost Baizhu's high support capabilities, which are all heavily scaled on HP as well. Artifact set wise, we'll definitely recommend running 2-piece Tenacity and 2 pieces Glow, which will give him the highest HP possible. But there's also the option to choosing between either the Deep-Wood Memories or Gilded if you want to run him for your Dendro reaction comps. That can help out, that can boost your team when making a lot of Dendro reactions, since they're all very, very strong. For constellations wise, definitely go for C1 if you want to get a bonus charge. C2 is also pretty good, but once you get C6, you can pretty much do everything Baizhu can while he's off field. He's just there as a flex spot for that. And for talents, focus on skill and burst. You're going to use those a lot more rather than using his normal attack. And finally, for his passive talent, the second one is definitely the best one that Baizhu has when it comes to boosting your elemental reactions by a good amount. At max, double Burning Bloom and Hyper Bloom and Burgeon damage, while Spread and Aggravate is 40%. So very strong. What you're seeing right now is the comparison, as I mentioned before, between, the healing ticks between Kokomi and Baizhu. Now, Kokomi has more healing ticks with the skill, which can basically heal, more times than Baizhu's, but it only works for the active character on field. Baizhu's, in comparison, heals the entire team for a good majority for just a single tick, which is a bit of a very deciding factor. Now to the point where I stand that he's apparently niche, but also very good. Baizhu is pretty much 3 characters combined: Zhongli, Kokomi, and Nahida, for shield, healing, and Dendro applications respectively for each of the 3 that I mentioned. Even though Baizhu is unable to perform the peak performance of what of all three that I mentioned before, he still can hold his ground very well. Comps-wise, Baizhu is very good in obviously Dendro comps, and you know how overpowered Dendro comps can be when it comes to, you know, the versatility, how overpowered Dendro comps are, and how Genshin is a reaction-oriented base game to, you know, provide more buffs to those. He's very good in, you know, obviously Bloom comps, and if you have it with Neo Bloom, definitely would recommend that. Aggravate, Hyper Bloom, any Dendro reaction comp you can think of, he's going to be very good. And the reason why I personally think his team healing is going to be good is definitely with Furina coming soon in 4.2. Because of Furina having team HP drain, Baizhu is going to be very good to pair up with her so that you can heal up your entire team again once the team drain has been affected, you know, to recalculate the team's HP. Despite his first banner in 3.6 not, you know, meeting up the standards when it comes to the revenue that he got and how not a lot of people don't have him, when I say that getting him was the best thing that happened in version 3.6, I would say yes. But I know your experiences will probably be different than mine, probably because if you guys don't know about my experiences with Baizhu, after getting him and his weapon, like getting him C0 and R1 from 3.6, with the 16,000 premiums that I saved up, bro, getting him was a very great, like, power move, because it really helped me to, you know, branch out the versatility that I had when I was, you know, back then running a lot of Dendro comps, and Baizhu is the perfect character to use for two Dendro S comps whenever Nahida is currently being used on any half in Abyss. Or you can also use him in open world because he's actually very good, since his other passive talent, which I forgot to mention, actually can give you additional healing whenever you pick up any wildlife. And it actually can be pretty good for comfort. Like I mentioned before, that Baizhu is niche. He is again another comfort character, as I mentioned, that he's a combination of, you know, Zhongli, Kokomi, and Nahida combined, but he could still do his ground, like, he could still hold his ground very well on performing as much capabilities as he can. And there's a lot of differences between ownage and usage rates for, you know, for Baizhu. And I'll put them up here right now. As you can tell right now, like, there's apparently, I believe, a small percentage of people that own Baizhu, but there's a little high amount of percentage for Baizhu in Abyss, because he is, again, a very great comfort character to have, and even with his niche kit, that being his greatest strength, because he can help you, you know, handle, like, balance out, like, your comps that you're a lot more comfortable with, and how you're able to handle the harshest content. And Baizhu is like a literal tank due to his high HP scaling. You can basically make him tank some hits for you, and you could run like a highly comfortable team with, you know, Zhongli, like, and Baizhu together with double shields. You just gotta prioritize like which characters and reactions you're gonna go for, which will give him the best strength as possible. Now I'll go ahead and enter my verdict on, is Baizhu still worth using in 2023? Personally, it's a hell yeah. Like, hell yeah, he's worth using. Because, I mean, a bit of an how do I say it? Like an you know, cultured way to say it would be like, oh, because he's Dendro OP, every Dendro unit is worth playing, right? Well, in my defense, I can't argue with that, but in my defense, Baizhu is, again, another great comfort character. He really is the perfect balance when it comes to, you know, making multiple comps that I enjoy using, or that I like enjoy taking onto Abyss or to open world, and he really has helped me out a lot when it comes to the team healing. I don't want to be rude to the Kokomi mains when I say that Baizhu kind of made me bench Kokomi, because Baiju's one heal tick for the entire team has literally made the big difference, especially if I want to, like, you know, cancel out the corrosion effects against Rift Towns. Which, bro, Baizhu really is a lifesaver, and I personally think he'll be an even bigger lifesaver once Furina arrives, because of her HP drain for the entire team for her buffs from her kit, and Baizhu being able to bring your team back into fighting force. So yeah, I guess that's definitely where I'm going to go ahead and end off today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this discussion, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That will be greatly appreciated. We're on the road to 800 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you guys sticking around to these streams and videos. If you guys want to see the last is insert Genshin character worth using video, click on here. If you want to go subscribe to the channel, my channel is in the middle, and if you want to see the entire playlist, it's on the right side. This is Maverick128 signing off. I will see you guys all in 4.2. Wish you guys all the absolute best on the characters you want to go for. And all Baizhu / Furina owners or wanters, they will become havers. See you guys next time.